It's my feel-good breakfast show.
It is time for all conscientious and loving pet owners to really pique their interest, because we're about to discuss something in particular that affects cats, but something that I think all of us need to know a little bit more about. When our pets become ill, it is a very frustrating and often very painful experience, not just for our pets, but for us as well, when we don't know what to do. So these opportunities to educate ourselves are absolutely priceless, especially when those conditions are quite complicated and a little mysterious. And today we're going to be talking about hyperthyroidism, which I know absolutely nothing about. So I'm very happy to have an internal medicine specialist, Dr. Tanya Skuman, join us in studio. And clearly you've already won Bob over, which is a very good sign. But we are dealing specifically, and this is why Bob looks so relaxed, with a condition that affects only cats, as I understand. But give us a broad sweep. What are we talking about today?
Hyperthyroidism is a very interesting disease, and it's a disease which is very comparable to hyperthyroidism in humans.
Okay.
And what happens is the thyroid gland, which sits at the side of the trachea and the neck, the thyroid gland starts overgrowing and it starts overproducing excessive amounts of thyroid hormone. And the effects then affects all the body systems that are affected by the work of thyroid hormone.
What could cause hyperthyroidism?
Well, Graham, it's interesting because for 20, 30 years now, they've been trying to find out exactly what it is that triggers it in cats. And the determining factors haven't really been found out yet. And there are lots of theories, but basically what we do know is it's a disease of older cats. So 95% of cats will be 12 to 13 years or older. So it really is very common. And it was only diagnosed for the first time in 1979 in America. In South Africa, it was about 15 years later.
Sure.
But since then, it has been described as the most common endocrine disease of cats.
And thankfully, a huge amount of research being done in the field now. Yes. I suppose then the importance or the onus is on identifying it as a condition. And obviously, we know that you must always take your pet to a vet for that final word. But how do we as pet owners start to notice these conditions, the change in your pet's health?
It's funny you say that, because the signs can be very subtle. And very often owners look at their cats and they think it's just the cat getting older, and they don't realize that the cat is actually getting ill. Weight loss occurs in 95% of all cats, and it's usually tremendous weight loss. And hand in hand with that, the cat usually has a really good appetite. So it eats and eats and eats, but just keeps on losing weight. Other signs that you could look at are increased drinking, increased urination. The cats very often vomit or have diarrhea from time to time. And their hair coats very often become very unkempt and really mucky, and the cats don't groom that well.
So I was going to say, that's generally a warning sign with a lot of illnesses. Absolutely. With the cats, is their grooming is so important to them. As soon as that stops, the warning bells must go off.
Absolutely. Another thing with these cats is they become very irritable, and they can become really nicky about
so basically
life.
A lot like a human. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I suppose the ray of hope, and because there has been so much research and development in the area, there are ways of treating it. Where do we begin when helping now once the condition has been identified?
Well, first, to identify it is really easy, and I would say the determining factor there is the veterinarian needs to suspect the disease. So once you know that there is an overproduction of thyroid hormone, then you can start discussing treatment with the owners. And in South Africa, we've got 3 treatment options, and there's not one option that is really better than the other. It really depends on the owner and the cat and the situation. Okay. One of the first options would be surgery, and what one does there is really go and remove the overactive thyroid gland. So surgery is an option, but it's not usually an option for all the cats. Yeah. The second one is to give them tablets, which suppress the production of the thyroid hormone. And once again, it is a good option, but these cats are often very difficult. So trying to tablet the cat twice a day is usually a bit of a...
You start running out of tricks very quickly.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you usually look at these owners and the cats are difficult already, and you say, there's this tablet and you can give it twice a day. And the owners look at you with big eyes, oh, you to come and do it.
Does it smell like tuna?
Yes, absolutely. So, but it is an option, and some people do manage to fill their cats twice a day. But the problem with the tablets is it needs to be given lifelong. So the third option, which has recently become available in South Africa, is actually to give them a special diet. And it's quite revolutionary, this diet. And Heels have brought out this diet, which is called Heels YD. And it treats cats with hyperthyroidism without having to give them tablets or having to do surgery. And it basically works on a limited iodine supply to the body, so the body is only able to produce a limited amount of thyroid hormone. But the diet works very well. I'd say the drawbacks there would be to make sure that is the only thing your cat eats.
Yes, and I can testify too that my cat absolutely loves his Hills Science diet. They're going to have no issue whatsoever taking this particular medicine. And Doctor, thank you so much once again for joining us. I can see you have won over our 2 pets. They look very happy and comfortable. They too can testify to the lovely taste of Hills. Well, I hope that's taught you guys at home something. Just keep an open mind. Always be looking at your pet's behavior. You, above all else, will know them and know if something is affecting their health. But above all, go and seek the advice of a professional.
Has the pain of arthritis slowed your dog or cat down? Ask your vet about your free bag of Hill's Prescription Diet JD today.